Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Aliana Kernodle. This week, Pennsylvania Treasurer Stacey Garrity announced her bid for Pennsylvania governor. Here to tell us more about it is the Center Square's Pennsylvania editor, Kristen Smith. Kristen, tell us a little bit about her kind of background and her announcement this week.
Stacey Garrity is a really popular Republican in the state. She got more votes than Donald Trump in the 2024 election. In fact, she got more votes than any Republican in statewide history, I believe. So she really has a broad appeal among the electorate. She is a decorated military veteran. She rose to the rank of Army colonel. She served 3 terms in Iraq. So she's really a very dedicated, patriotic public servant, as she would describe herself, who said that she's really committed to those ideals and that she wants to take that to the governor's office now. As treasurer, she focused a lot on saving money for taxpayers, returning money that they were owed, and boosting tax accounts for education savings. She also made a point during her first term as treasurer to go to all 67 counties in Pennsylvania. So she's really positioned herself as someone who, coming from northern Pennsylvania, which is very rural, and has come all the way to Harrisburg, as someone who can really govern for all people. And that's an interesting setup when you look at who she's going to be going up against, which is, of course, Josh Shapiro, who also has a very broad electoral appeal, has messaging that he's a governor for everybody. Garrity's announcement wasn't unexpected at all. It was just a matter of when, not if, although she is the first Republican to throw her hat to this race.
So, as you mentioned, she's rather popular, but the Democratic Governors Association weighed in on the subject, and they don't seem to think she's that much of a threat. What did they have to say?
No, they think she's incredibly right-wing, which is something that when we look at our last Republican gubernatorial candidate, that was Doug Mastriano. And I think he's widely understood to be very far right in his politics. And even he would agree with that. And he was so right-wing that many onlookers and many exit polling and even polling before the election showed that he was double digits behind Shapiro, and in the end, he lost by 15 percentage points. So his platform was very unpopular. He was very anti-abortion. He had a lot of people just did not appreciate his deeply religious viewpoint on a lot of public policy. There was controversy about his participation in historical reenactments because his district includes Gettysburg. So he liked to participate in the culture and the remembrance of the Civil War there. And so there's a photo floating around of him in a Confederate uniform. There's just a lot of accusations about his conservative viewpoints. So that really hurt him in that campaign. Whereas Shapiro said, I'm the governor for everyone. I'm moderate. He positioned himself as a moderate Democrat, which brought worker unions and police unions and a lot of that more moderate leaning Democratic electorate back to him, because they had really been skewing right for Trump for many years now. And they did in 2024. So the Democratic Governors Association is now trying to take the path of aligning Garrity closer to Mastriano than what she has shown to be. There are some ways that it's been argued that she is more right-wing. I think one of the biggest criticisms she faces is that she has invested in Israel bonds, even though amid the ongoing war with Hamas and Israel, there's a lot of conflict about that on the Democratic side of the aisle. There's a lot of people who think that Israel has gone too far in their attacks and that they have the responsibility to ensure that humanitarian aid is reaching the civilians in Gaza who are caught in the crossfire of all this. So that's a really big thing that makes her unpopular with the more progressive side of the party. And that's interesting because when you look at nationally where the Democratic Party is, there's a lot of growing sentiment that ignoring that progressive arm, as has been done, some some observers believe, as has been done, that it's hurt the party. It's made it harder for them to win elections, and that they really do need to start listening to that more progressive arm. And of course, that is where a lot of that sentiment comes, that anti-Israel sentiment and that desire to see the war end, and putting the impetus on the Israeli government to do so.
Well, it's still quite early in this process, and I know we'll continue to follow this governor's race closely as it develops. So you can keep up with this and more at thecentersquare.com.